So we're going to start our flow practice this morning in a child's pose. So if you're not quite sure, come onto your knees. Have them a good mat distance apart, I would say. Sometimes if lower back is feeling a little bit tricky, it feels slightly better to bring the thighs together. So just see what feels good for you. And then you're starting to bring the hands forwards and rest your forehead down to the floor. And the forehead might not touch down for all of us, so you could even just pile one hand on top of the other and rest the forehead on the hands if it doesn't come all the way down to the mat. So coming into a nice comfortable position and just checking in, how are the knees here? And if they are feeling uncomfortable, you could always come onto your back and just hug the knees into the chest. Okay, so same posture, different variation. So taking a moment or two, allowing yourself to feel nice and still. And with the eyes closed, allowing your gaze to travel inwards. So noticing, how is the body feeling today? What's going on in the body? Where are you feeling different sensations? Are there spaces which feel tight or tense? Or is it that you are generally feeling well, generally feeling open through the body? Check in on your energy levels today. Are you feeling high energy, ready to take this practice on? Or maybe are you feeling a little bit sluggish, a little bit more tired today? And as you notice, just try not to criticize yourself, judge yourself for feeling a certain way. Just become more aware. Where is your head at today? How quickly are your thoughts passing through your mind? If there's a recurring thought or emotion coming up for you, can you draw your attention to your breath in order to quieten the chatter of your mind? Start to allow your inhales to lengthen a little bit further. And begin to slow down the pace of your exhales. Breathe in such a way that as you inhale, there's a sense that you're trying to inflate your torso. So the belly expands, the chest broadens, and it's almost like you're trying to lift the breath up toward the crown of your head. And control the exhale, so just gently draw the belly button back to the spine. Bit by bit, emptying the lungs until you get to the end of the exhalation and you get rid of any stale air that might be sitting in the lungs. Maybe there's a sense with your in-breath that you're drawing in the kinds of emotions or energies that you want to take into your practice today. And every time you exhale, there's a sense of softening, there's a sense of letting go. letting go of whatever might be holding you back at the moment. Those thoughts of self-doubt, or those perhaps slightly more negative energies that you're holding on to within your energetic body. Allow this breath to have a very cleansing, motivating quality. And it's all about setting intention in our yoga practice. Some of this stuff can sound a bit fluffy, but the reason why we practice intention with breath, intention with movement, is because it really does start to filters into our physical being, it filters into our behaviours both on and off our yoga mat. So as well as attracting these positive emotions, these positive energies, maybe consider, is there something else that you need from your practice today? Or is there someone or something that you wish to dedicate your practice towards? And that someone could be yourself. Notice what comes up naturally. Have a sense of breathing into that intention. And then come back to focusing solely on your breath. The rate of your breath, the rate of your heart, changing as we start to move through our practice this morning. But with our eyes closed, whenever we can, just creating that inward gaze, noticing. And being open to these things changing. The only thing that we can be certain of in life is change. So when we're on our mat, we're practicing that tolerance, that acceptance of what we cannot control. And particularly when we're in a very grounding and restorative pose like child's pose, it can feel like we can draw up the strength and stability of the earth beneath us. So with all that in mind, and with your breath at the forefront of your attention, let's gently start to invite some movement into the body. So we'll begin by very gently, very slowly, swaying the head from left to right. So giving your forehead a little bit of a massage out on the mat. And if you are on your back, you can do the same, but you're massaging the back of your head onto the floor. So just giving yourself a moment, warming up through the neck. And see, can you start to synchronize movement and breath? So maybe as you inhale, you go to the right, and as you exhale, you go to the left. Well done. Come back to center, stretching the arms out in front of you. Press the palms into the floor so that the elbows lift up and away from the mat. We'll come into a side stretch now. So walking the hands over to the right side of your mat to open up through the left side body. And if you want to take this deeper, take your left hand and place it on top of the right hand. And really think about taking your left sit bone back onto the heel as much as you can, so you can stretch and open up as much as possible. And again, if you chose to stay on your back here, you might want to bring the body into more of a banana shape, lifting up, out and over. Again, keep the neck relaxed and just focus on creating as much space through the left side body as you can. Good. Inhale, come back to center and over to the left side this time, walking the hands over as far as you can. If you're coming deeper, right hand on top of left. Really sitting the right sit bone back onto the heel and opening up, stretching up, out and over. Keeping the neck relaxed, keeping the side body as open as possible. Maybe trying to soften into the jaw, and again, if you're on your back, you might be coming into more of a banana shape through the body now. Excellent. Inhale, come all the way back to the center and start to press the palms into the floor to come up into hands and knees, or if you're on your back, just sweep your legs around and find your way up. So we'll just open up and mobilize our spine this morning with a little bit of cat-cow. So I'll come sideways on here. You're going to keep your hands stacked underneath your shoulders, knees under hips, and maybe curl under the toes to give the soles of the feet a little bit of a stretch out. Moving with breath, most importantly here. So as you inhale, shoulder blades slide back and together, belly drops toward the floor, gazing forwards. And then exhale, press the floor away and arch through the spine, touching the chest. Good. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze ahead, sticking out the bottom. And then exhale, draw in the tummy button and press through the palms. Well done. Inhale, drop down. And exhale to round. Now keep this going and see if you can time your movement with your breath. And perhaps even closing off the eyes here and just freestyling the movement a little bit, particularly if you've got tightness in the body today. So you might be wiggling through the shoulders, wiggling through the hips. You might be taking some rotations through the torso, making some figure eights. You might be rocking slightly backwards or forwards. Just see what feels good for you today. And maybe the eyes are closed as you move through these intuitive movements. So you're just looking inwards. What can I do to open up my own body? Because this is a personal practice. Yes, I'm leading it, but you can always take your own interpretation into each posture. So 2 more rounds of breath in your own time. And then gently finding your way back to a neutral spine, midway between cat and cow. So just take a little check-in on the belly. Notice if you're kind of dumping the belly down here, and try to think about drawing in the tummy and curling under the tailbone. We're going to come through a half chaturanga from here. So take the shoulders forwards of the line of your wrists, and then start to bend the elbows and hug them tight to side rib cage as you lower all the way down to your mat. And from here we'll come into Sphinx. So you're taking the elbows directly underneath the shoulders and the forearms out in front of you. Take a deep inhale, and as you breathe out, think about trying to energetically draw the elbows back toward the hips and the chest through the upper arms. So you're really finding as much space through the chest and through the upper back as you can. Nice big stretch here. Maybe you're just tucking the chin slightly into the chest so the back of your neck is really, really long. So big breaths in, deep breaths out. One more. Good. Lower yourself down to the floor. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Pressing up via the knees, so tucking under the toes. Keep the elbows tight to side ribs as you come up onto all fours. And from here we'll come into downward facing dog. So hover the knees a couple of inches, press the chest through the arms toward the thighs and send the bottom nice and high. And again here, maybe just freestyling your movement by marching the feet on the floor or wiggling through the hips or the shoulders. So just give yourself an opportunity here to start to open up through the body. Inhaling, and then as you exhale, finding your way to stillness. You're welcome to soften into the knees slightly to get the back slightly straighter here. Let's just measure out our down dog. So as you inhale, ripple forwards into a high plank position, shoulders stacking over top of wrists and paws. Really stretch out through the heels and feel like your inner thighs are squeezing into the center line. And as you press through the palms, you'll start to round through the upper back here. Now as you exhale, come back into down dog, bottom high. Try not to walk the toes closer towards your hands. You're keeping that length through your down dog, and this is always a really good way of just checking in how long should my down dog be. Now let's move through a few rounds of vinyasa to warm up the body. So inhale, come back into your high plank, moving the chest forwards. And coming in that half chaturanga again. So exhale, lower the knees down to the floor, squeeze the elbows tight to side ribs, come down to your belly. This time coming into cobra pose. So hands stay under the shoulders and chest lifts. Now notice how my elbows remain bent. If you straighten the arms, shoulders come up to the ears and low back becomes compressed. So keeping the elbows bent and just having a sense of drawing the chest forwards. Exhale, lower your chest down to the floor. Tuck under the toes. Now, option here, you can come up through your knees like we did last time, or reverse plank. Hug the elbows tight to side ribs, lift the knees away from the floor, press the mat away. And then coming all the way up and back into your downward facing dog. Deep breath in, and deep breath out. Well done, good control. Inhale, come forwards into your high plank, pause. You're always welcome to drop the knees first, but if you're coming into chaturanga, think shoulders forwards of wrists, bend the elbows, lower halfway down, hold. Inhale to cobra again, or tops of the feet to the floor, lift the thighs away, upward facing dog, shoulders drawing away from the ears. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Big breath in, deep breath out. Now close the eyes for this next one. You're going to take whichever variation works in your body today. So inhale, come forwards into high plank. Exhale, lowering down. Maybe you're dropping the knees. Maybe you're moving through full chaturanga. Inhale, open up, cobra or up dog. Big exhale, using the length of your exhale to find your way back into downward facing dog. Take a big inhale and a nice deep sigh out. Well done. Inhale, come forwards into high plank, and this time I'd like you to drop the elbows down to the floor. So you want your elbows to be fairly narrow here so that they're stacking underneath the shoulders. Walk the toes back to find your way into a forearm plank. So bottom roughly the same height as the shoulders. Nice big breath, keep pressing the mat away. Using the sense of your breath to power you through here. 2 more. And then gently lower your knees to the floor, coming back into Sphinx pose. So, taking the elbows slightly wider now, inhale. Exhale, drawing the chest forwards, that sense of dragging the elbows energetically back toward the hips. Broaden through the chest, broaden through the upper back. Well done, come down. Hands under shoulders, press back, downward facing dog. Good. So from here on your next inhale, stretch your right leg up toward the ceiling and bend the right knee to open up through the hip. Try to keep both shoulders square to the mat. Take a big breath in. Exhale, draw the right knee to right elbow and pause there, hovering. Squeeze tummy button to spine. Inhale, stretch the right leg high. Exhale, right knee to nose, round forwards. Pause, keep pressing through the palms. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, draw across. Pause, really drawing in the tummy. Inhale, right leg to sky. Exhale, step the right foot to the outer edge of your right hand. And you can give that foot a little helping hand forwards if you need to. And gently lower the left knee down to the floor with control. Good. Lizard lunge, big inhale. Exhale, option to soften into the elbows to draw yourself a little closer to the floor. If you have blocks, you could bring forearms to blocks, or if it's possible, forearms come all the way down to the mat. Good. Keep the right knee squeezing into outer right shoulder. Big breaths in, big breaths out. Now you have an option here to take a quad stretch and a twist. So first stage, inhale, stretch the right arm toward the wall behind you. Second stage, if it's okay for the knee, you're bending the back knee, taking hold of the top of the foot and thinking, can I spiral my chest toward the side wall? Maybe even looking over the right shoulder. Perhaps even drawing that right heel slightly closer, beg your pardon, left heel, slightly closer towards your bottom. Well done, wherever you're at, spiral the right hand down to the floor. Come back up onto the hands, step back into your high plank, moving through your vinyasa at your pace. So finding high plank, lowering down knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale to open the chest into cobra or up dog, and then exhaling all the way back into downward facing. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Good, second side, inhale, left leg to sky, and then bend your left knee to open up through the hip. So shoulders stay square to the mat, and the left heel moves towards the right butt cheek. Inhale deeply. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, draw forwards, pause there. So we're hovering, we're pressing the mat away. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left knee to nose, round forwards and pause. Keep pressing through the palms. Inhale, left leg high. Moving with breath. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, draw across the body, pause, scoop the tummy in. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left foot to the outer edge of left hand. And don't be afraid to use your hand here if you need to draw that left foot forwards. Gently lower the back knee down to the floor, finding our way into lizard lunge. So big inhale. Exhale, option to soften through the elbows and lower the chest. Maybe you're taking forearms to a prop or all the way down to the mat. Good. Feel free to soften your chin to chest and relax your head and neck down. Good. Squeezing into the glutes, left knee hugs out to left shoulder. If you're coming into your twist, inhale, stretch your left hand toward the space behind you. Option to stay here, or if you're binding, you're bending the right knee, maybe taking hold of the top of the foot. So really nice long inhales. And as you exhale, think about spiraling that left shoulder onto the upper back, opening up through the chest a little bit more if you're in your twist. One more. Good, gently release. Take the hands down to the mat. Curl under back toes, high plank, step back. Use the exhale to lower down. The inhale to open up into your back bend of choice. And your exhale to down dog. Well done. Cleansing inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, let it go. Well done. Breathe in, right leg high. Bend your knee, open through your hip. Now look forward, step your right foot between your hands, coming into an easy twisting lunge, okay? I'll come side on. So we're going to take the left hand to the floor and the right arm to the sky. Look up, open up through the chest, pause here. Good, keep stretching through the back heel and bending into the front knee, almost like you're trying to pull your mat in two different directions. Good, breathe out, lower your hands down to the floor, step back into high plank, moving through your vinyasa in time with your breath. Remember, if you don't want to take every vinyasa in this practice, you don't have to. You can come straight back into your down dog. You can even hang out in child's pose for a couple of big breaths if you need. Second side, inhale, left leg high. Bend your knee, open up through your hip. Look ahead, left foot between the hands. Easy twisting lunge, right hand stays planted, left arm reaches up, open through the chest, look toward the top thumb, big breaths in. Deep breaths out, stretching through the back heel to really lengthen through the back leg. Good, inhale one more time. Exhale, top hand to floor, step back into your high plank. Lower down with control. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing. Deep breath in. Big breath out, let it go. Good. Inhale, right leg to sky. Bend your knee, open up through your hip. Look forwards, right foot between the hands. Easy twisting lunge, right arm high, lift up. Now from here, we're going to move into a twisted high lunge. The upper body stays exactly as it is. press through the front heel and start to float your left hand away from the floor. So really squeezing the inner thighs together. Keep really stretching through the back arm here. Maybe sink a little deeper into the front knee. Well done. Big inhale, big exhale. And one more. And on your exhale, spiral the hands down either side of front foot, stepping back, finding your way through your vinyasa or straight to downward facing. Good. Cleansing breath as you reach down dog. Let it go. Inhale, left leg to sky. Bend your knee, open through your hip. Looking forward, step your left foot between the hands. Easy twisting lunge, left arm reaches high. Good. So coming into that twisted high lunge, press the floor away with your left heel, keeping the upper body twisted to the side wall, really squeezing in the belly, stretching from fingertip to fingertip, sinking into front knee. Good. Another inhale. Big exhale. One more. Exhale, hands touch down to the floor. Step back into high plank. Lowering down. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing. Good. Take a moment here. Big breath in. Big sigh out through the mouth. Let it go. Okay, inhale, right leg high. Bend your knee, open through your hip. Look ahead, step right foot between the hands. Easy twisting, right arm reaches high, open the chest. Twisted high lunge, press the floor away with that front heel to rise up. Good. Now from here, fingertips to hips, turn your chest to face forwards again, moving into pyramid, so you're stepping the back foot in a little way. All 10 toes point straight ahead, so you might want to even take the feet hip distance. Make sure that your back foot is completely grounded to the floor. Either holding on to opposite elbows behind the back, or if you have a reverse namaste, the hands can come into prayer, and then you're flipping them up so your fingertips point toward the back of your head. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Exhale, hinge from the hips and start to forward fold from here. Good. Tuck chin to chest so back of the neck is really long. Make sure that your back stays nice and straight. If you come too far, you'll find that you're rounding through the upper body. So just ease yourself out slowly. Letting go of that sense of pushing yourself to the extreme. Letting go of your ego as much as you possibly can. Sometimes it can actually be more difficult to take a posture which is slightly less advanced, let's say, aesthetically, because your ego is telling you to move forward. So always finding that balance. Good. Another big breath in. Exhale, release the hands down to the floor and step back through your vinyasa. Well done. Take a moment in down dog. Close the eyes. Big inhale. Exhaling deeply. Well done. Inhale, left leg high. Bend your knee, open up through your hip. Left foot steps between the hands. Easy twisting lunge, left arm to sky, look up. Twisted high lunge, press through the front heel, lift up, reach through the fingertips. Good. Fingertips to hips, square your chest forwards, pyramid leg. So step the back foot in a little way. Ground the back foot to the floor, both hips point straight ahead. Either holding on to your elbows, maybe taking that reverse namaste if that's in your practice. Either way, breathe in and open up through your heart. Exhale, forward fold. So you're hinging from the hips. There's a sense of drawing the outer right hip forwards and the outer left hip back. Inhaling deeply, exhaling deeply. One more. Good. Release the hands down to the floor, stepping back through your vinyasa. Good. Nice big breath in. Deep sigh out. Let it go. Well done. Inhale, right leg high. Bend your knee, open through your hip. Look forwards, right foot between the hands. Easy twisting lunge, right arm high. Twisted high lunge, press through the front heel to rise. Well done. Coming into our pyramid, fingertips to hips. Square your chest forwards, step the back foot in. Legs are straight. This time keep the fingertips on the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, start to hinge from your hips and fold yourself forwards. Good. If you're hyper flexible, keep a little micro bend in both knees so that you're not overextending here. You can either bring your hands down onto the front shin and pause here, or if you're able to bring your hands down to the floor, walk them a little bit further forwards of the front foot. Coming into a little standing split variation. So if your hands are on the floor, transfer the weight into the front foot, bend the left knee and line it up with the right knee so the left heel moves towards your bottom. And then curl your nose to knee and forward fold over the leg. Good. Just a couple of big breaths here. Inhaling deeply, exhaling deeply. Excellent job. Now we're going to place the left foot down to the floor, crossing it behind the right foot. So we're almost creating a little X shape through the legs. And again here, if fingertips aren't on the floor, bring them onto the front shin. Take a nice big inhale and then exhale. Let the upper body hang forwards. So really paying attention here. Again, if you're hypermobile, keep a little bend through the knees. And just try subtly rocking the weight forwards and back into the feet, maybe even side to side. See if you can find a little sweet spot, something that you want to pause and breathe into. Well done. Okay, breathe in, lift the chest, stepping back into your high plank, moving through your vinyasa or straight to down dog. Excellent work. Inhale, left leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Step your left foot between the hands. Easy twisting lunge, left arm high, look up. Twisted high lunge, press through the front heel to rise. Good. Pyramid, fingertips to hips, step the back foot in. Make sure it's grounded to the floor. Legs are straight, hands to hips, breathe in, lift the chest. Breathe out, hinging from the hips to forward fold. Good. Hands either on the front shin, or if you're coming into our little standing split variation, fingertips to the mat, transfer the weight into the front foot, bend the right knee, think heel to butt. Curl your nose towards your knee. So you want your knees to be, or the inner knees to be kissing, so you want them to be lined up, one in line with the other. That's it. Good. Big breaths in. Big breaths out. Well done. Now creating that X shape with the legs. So the right leg crosses behind the left. You're making a little X shape with the legs. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, let go of the upper body, forward fold. Relax the neck, let the head hang. Try to keep the upper body nice and soft. My favourite part is always to take that very subtle rock, left to right, forwards and back. For me, it's a really deep stretch for the outer edge of my right hip and the IT band as well, getting into spaces that we don't normally get into in our body. Well done. Another big inhale. Big breath out. Well done. Inhale once more. Exhale, hands touch down to the floor, stepping back into your high plank, taking it through your vinyasa. Well done. Big breath in. Long sigh out, let it go. Excellent job. So we're going to take one more flow to each side. You're doing really, really well. Inhale, right leg to sky. Bend the knee, open the hip. Look forwards, right foot between the hands. Easy twisting lunge, right arm goes high. Good. Twisted high lunge, press through the front heel, rise up. Excellent. Fingertips to hips, square the chest forwards and step the back foot into your pyramid. Good. Fingertips to hips, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forwards. Well done. So let's come straight into that X shape. Step the left leg behind the right. Either keeping the hands on the hips or fingertips to floor, fold yourself forwards. Good. Now bend the knees, plant your hands to the floor, step your left foot back so you're in like a runner's lunge stance here. Finding our way back into easy twisting lunge. Right arm lifts to the sky. Good. Now you can stay here if this works for you, otherwise maybe coming into a side plank variation of your choice. So you could come onto the knife edge of the back foot and just heel toe the right foot to line up with your belly button. If you're coming slightly deeper, maybe the foot's in front of the left foot, maybe it stacks on top. Lift up through that bottom hip as much as you can and stretch up through the top hand. Big breaths in, big breaths out, finding your gaze point that isn't moving in front of you and just fixating your eyes there. Good, lower top hand to the floor, coming through your vinyasa or straight to down dog. Excellent work everyone, really, really nice. Yeah, enjoy a nice big sigh out through the mouth, let it go. Feeling that energy building up in the body. Final side, inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, bend the knee, open up through the hip. Step your left foot between the hands. You know where we're going. Easy twisting lunge, lift the left arm high. Twisted high lunge, press through the front heel, rise up through the upper body. Woo! Fingertips to hips, pyramid, chest squares forwards, back foot steps in, breathing in, lifting the chest, breathing out to forward fold. So keeping the fingertips on the hips as you fold. Coming into our X shape through the legs. Right leg steps behind the left. Big breath in. Exhale, release your torso forwards. Relax the neck, let the head hang down. Good, well done. Another big inhale. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step your right foot back, find that runner's lunge stance through the legs. Easy twisting lunge again, lift the left arm to sky, look up. Option to stay exactly as you are, maybe you're rocking onto the knife edge of the back foot, lining your left foot up with belly button, maybe the left foot's in front of the right, maybe it's stacking on top. So think about creating a rainbow shape through the body. You want to lift the outer right hip as high away from the floor as you can. Big breaths in as you stretch up. Big breath out, lower top hand down to floor. Find your way through your vinyasa. Well done. Let's meet back in child's pose this time. So knees nice and wide, bottom to heels, and just resting the forehead down to the floor. Close off the eyes, have a moment or two just to ground through the body. Maybe you're taking a couple of deep sighs out through the mouth. Allowing the heart rate to settle slightly. Again, just drawing your attention inwards. Really nice work, and we'll come back up into downward facing dog when you're ready. Well done. So from your down dog, just gently start to pad your hands back towards your feet, finding a little forward fold at the back of your mat. So don't worry about having the legs straight here. There's a misconception that in yoga we need to be working with straight legs. Bend into the knees, get your chest and thighs sandwiched together and let the head go. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, draw in the belly and take a slow and steady spinal roll up into standing. Roll the shoulders back and together at the top and step the feet together. Tadasana, turn your palms forwards. Cleansing breath in, big breath out. Excellent. So we're going to come into Prasarita Padottanasana, aka wide leg forward fold. Let's step our right foot forward, nice big step, and then we're going to turn our toes to face each other and our heels out slightly. So same setup like we would do for Warrior Two, reaching the arms alongside the shoulders, and you want your wrists to be stacking over the top of the ankles. Believe it or not, the wider your stance is, the easier this will feel in the body. So for those of you who are slightly tighter, think wide legs if you can. Okay, breathe in, stretch the arms above the head, look up. Exhale, hinge from the hips and start to forward fold. Now, fingertips reach down toward the floor. And if you're very tight through the legs, you might want to bring the hands onto the shins and stay here, keeping the back straight. Otherwise, hands come down directly underneath the shoulders. Take a big breath to lift the chest, find that length through the crown of the head, and then exhale, soften into the elbows and start to hinge yourself a little further forwards. Now, for those of us who have comfortably got the hands on the floor, begin to walk the hands back and line your fingertips with your toes. Good. Hug the elbows into the center line, almost like you're squeezing a beach ball between them. And then tuck chin to chest and take the crown of the head down in the direction of the mat. Again, just closing off the eyes. Let go of the fact that your head might not be touching the floor. That's not the aim here. The aim is to find a nice deep stretch for the backs of the legs. And if your hands are grounded, we're switching on the upper back muscles by hugging the elbows into the center line. So you're feeling that rounding through the upper back, like you would if you were pressing the mat away in a plank position. Good, 2 more big breaths here. Inhale, rise up onto the hands. Bring the fingertips to the hips. Soften into the knees slightly as you rise all the way up into standing. Good, and you can either step the feet back together or stretch the arms out and take a little jump. Well done. Okay, well done everyone. Let's come down onto our knees. Or just find a comfortable seated position for a moment. So we're going to have a little look at headstanding today. And if you're somebody who has never done a headstand before, particularly someone who hasn't done a headstand without perhaps having your back against a wall, I'd still like you to work in the centre of the room. So we're just going to look at our entry to headstand. And those of you who have been my students for a while will know exactly what I mean. And if you're very comfortable in your headstand practice, please, please, please feel free to come into it now and have a little play. If you're brand new to this or you're slightly nearer to this, then just listen to what I'm saying first and then watch me and we'll come through it together again. So very important in headstand not to actually take too much weight into the head. So we're not dumping down into the head and the neck and the shoulders are up towards the ears. We want to really stay nice and strong and nice and broad through the upper body. So hopefully you're in a seated position and just think about what a good seated alignment is. So when I think, okay, I'm sitting nicely, it's when I have my shoulders stacking over the top of my hips. And similarly, when we start to move towards a headstand, you want your butt to be stacking over the top of your shoulders. You also want the upper body to be switched on, okay? One of the frequently asked questions I get with headstand is, which part of my head needs to be on the floor? And it's the crown of the head, right at the top. And a way to kind of figure out what part that is to take your thumb and your first finger, spread them apart nice and wide. The thumb comes into the center of the eyebrows, and then the first finger will tell you where the crown of the head is. So you can kind of give it a little rub and make a mental note of where that is. So that's the part of the head that goes onto the floor. And this morning we're going to work with a tripod grip, okay? So when we just came into that Prasarita Padottanasana, we were working with the arms. We were working on hugging the elbows into the center line. So sometimes when we come into headstand, this happens. The elbows come wide and we start to collapse in the upper body, which makes us very wobbly. So we want to squeeze the elbows in. We're always thinking that we've got an invisible football between the elbows and we're hugging into the center line. And as soon as you do that, even if you do that here with your hands up away from the floor, you'll notice how that switches on the upper back muscles, okay? So my favorite way of coming into a tripod headstand is to start in a kneeling position, and I use the kind of dynamics, the curves of my body to find out where my body needs to be. So holding your hands out in front, have a little look at that line which runs from the top of your thumb all the way down toward the wrist. So there's a nice little curved shape here. And if you pop your hands down either side of your knees, you'll notice that that curve fits in almost perfectly. It's like a puzzle piece. Fingers are spreading nice and wide, okay? So we want to think crown of the head is coming down to the floor. We've slotted the outer edges of the thumbs to the outer edges of the knees. We're tucking chin to chest slightly and bringing the crown of the head down to the mat. Now have a little look at the elbows. They need to be at right angles, so your elbows stack over top of your wrists. You're squeezing the inner elbows into the center line, holding your invisible football, and then you're tucking under the toes and lifting your bottom up like you would for downward facing dog. Good. Now keep squeezing the inner elbows together, and if you're moving slightly deeper, walk your toes slightly closer to your hands. So eventually your bottom will stack directly over top of the head. Now keep pressing through the hands. There shouldn't be weight dumping into the head or the neck. If there is, come down and take a rest. Otherwise, if you're coming slightly deeper, you might be taking one knee onto the back of one upper arm and then maybe eventually the other. Or you might just work on taking one at a time. Okay? If you're able to take the knees onto the back of the upper arms, coming into this little cosmic egg shape, you can hold it here. You might be floating the knees away from the floor. You might eventually be taking the legs up. Okay, but working stage by stage, remembering that every day is different, and most importantly, when you come down, just resting in this child's pose position before you bring the head up. So have a little play here. Take a breather. I'll talk you through all that one more time, and we'll have another go together. All right? Is there anything that's unclear? Okay. Over-explaining everything as normal. All right, so let's have a go together. So I can't stress this enough. If you're wobbling, please don't take the legs up. You're thinking one knee to upper arm, foot down, one knee to upper arm, foot down, and maybe just playing around at that stage if that works for you. You can also do this up against a wall. It's really, really good to build the core, just to work on this entry first off in the middle of the room, okay? So spread the hands, slotting the outer edges of the thumbs around the outer edges of the knees and bringing the crown of the head down to the floor. Look at the elbows, make sure they're stacking over the top of your wrists, and then tuck under the toes and stretch the bottom high into downward facing dog. Maybe you're pausing here, squeezing the elbows into center line. Maybe you're walking the toes in a little closer, thinking butt stacking over the top of shoulders. Press through the palms, squeeze the inner elbows in. Option to take a knee onto the back of one upper arm and then do a little switcheroo to the other side. Option to bring your knees onto the backs of the upper arms and hold it there. So really breathing as deeply as you can. Again, paying attention to what's going on in the neck. If it's too much, come down and rest. Think about using the upper body as much as you can. And then gently coming out of your playtime, meeting in child's pose, forehead to floor, maybe even hands back toward the toes for this variation. And like we did at the start of the practice, just gently sway your forehead from left to right, release the neck. Really good job, everyone. Excellent. Let's come back up into a little seated position. and make yourself nice and comfortable. So we'll just take a little bit of neck release, because obviously we've done quite a lot of upper body work today, lots of work with the neck and the head positions. So take a big inhale, and then as you breathe out, just take your right ear to the right shoulder. Let your head hang to the side. Let your neck relax. And if this is enough, you can stay here. If you want a little bit more, bring the right hand onto the side of the head. So we're not pulling the head to the side, we're just letting the weight of the hand gently traction out the side neck a little bit more and open up here. If that feels like a great release for you, stay as you are. Otherwise, walk your fingertips around to the base of your skull and start to turn your chin down in the direction of the right armpit. Notice how that stretch moves up into the top of the neck, into the base of the skull, breathing there. Well done. Releasing the right hand down, tuck the chin to center of chest, left ear to left shoulder, head relaxes, neck is soft, let it go. Pause there. Excellent job. If you did on the first side, left hand comes onto the side of the head. Don't pull the head, just let the weight of your hand open up the side neck a little bit more. Well done. Fingertips walk to the base of the skull, chin turns down toward the left armpit, pausing there, breathing into that space. Excellent, and then gently let go. Bring your chin to the center of the chest. One hand comes onto your forehead, bring the head back up onto the center line. Well done. So we'll make our way onto our back. If you've got a little jumper or a layer that you want to pop on now, then please do. And then when you're ready, bring the soles of the feet flat to the floor at the top of the mat, scooch the bottom toward the heels, and take a slow and steady roll all the way down onto your back. Really, really nice. Draw the right knee into the chest as you get there. Interlace the hands over the right shin and stretch your left leg out along the floor. Coming into a twist. So using your left hand to guide the right knee across the body, stretching the right arm out alongside the shoulder. You might want to look toward the right fingertips. You might want to stay as you are. Don't worry if the right knee doesn't come all the way down to the floor. Don't pull it across. Just allow the body to naturally open up here. The most important thing is that both shoulder blades are grounded to your mat. Excellent. Inhale, come back up to center. Switching sides, draw the left knee into the chest, stretch your right leg out along the floor. Good. Using your right hand to guide the left knee across the body, stretching the left arm out alongside the shoulder as you twist. And you might be gazing toward the left fingertips. You might even be just closing the eyes here and softening into the belly. Well done. Breathing in, coming all the way back up to the center. Hug both knees into your chest. Interlace your hands over your shins and then curl your nose up to your knees. Round yourself up into a teeny tiny ball, squeezing everything in and down. Take one more really big breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, let it all fall out along your mat. So finding your way into your positioning for Shavasana for relaxation. If there's any tension through the low back, soles of the feet can be wide, knees locking together like this in a little teepee shape. Otherwise you can stretch your legs out, the arms can be wide. You might even want to just take a hand onto your heart and a hand onto your belly. So just see what works for you. If there are any other layers or blankets that you need to pop into place, then feel free. So giving yourself a moment to get nice and settled. And once you're there, allowing your eyes to very gently close. Allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. And just see, can you observe the inhales moving in and the exhales leaving? Maybe you're just simply watching that gentle rise and fall in the chest. And naturally the mind will wander here. Try not to punish yourself for that, just be aware of it. Like your mind is a movie screen, you're just watching those thoughts play out and then allowing them to pass by. Bringing the focus back to the breath. Allowing the body to be physically still and soft. And even if that's very tricky for you today, then try not to beat yourself up about it. Just acknowledge that these final few moments of your practice today are for you and for you only. There's nothing else for you to do right now. You have no other responsibilities, nowhere else to be. Take this opportunity to completely relax. So if you are lucky enough to have a little bit longer for your Shavasana this morning, then feel free to stay exactly as you are for as long as you have. If you know that you need to be making your way, then just begin to deepen the breath, eventually drawing some little movements back into your fingers and your toes. And perhaps eventually take a nice full body stretch, reach the arms above the head, lengthen the legs away. On an exhale, drawing the knees in towards you, giving them a little loving squeeze. and just rolling yourself to whichever side feels most comfortable for you. And just pause there for a moment in that fetal position. So our fetal position is a position which is about rebirth. So maybe think about what you have cultivated in this practice, what you can bring into your day, and acknowledge everything that you've achieved in your practice and in the entirety of your day so far. Taking your time, finding your way to a comfortable seat whenever you feel ready. Perhaps keeping the eyes closed as you make your way there, and taking the hands to prayer position at heart center when you arrive. Bow your chin to chest. If you'd like to join me in an Om, take a big breath in through the nose. Take a moment just to breathe in that vibration, to feel the collective energy that we've shared today in our practice. And when you're ready, bring your prayer hands up to the space between your eyebrows. Lengthen up nice and tall. Peace in your thoughts. Bring your prayer hands in front of your lips. Peace in your words and in front of your heart. Peace in your actions. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for practice today. I'm really, really grateful to everyone who's tuning in on the live stream, and also to all the people who are watching my online content from home at their leisure. I had a request from a few students for a way in which they could make donations towards these classes if they wish to. So I have set that up. If you're watching this on the live stream or you're on my website, there is a donate button on there, so you can click that and it will take you through to my PayPal for contributions. All this content is completely free. There's absolutely no pressure to make any donations, but if you did want to, then you have the option now. So thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope this has set you up and got you ready to rock and roll. So enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Thank you.